So I've just put it on saute. So we have our Instant Pot already on the saute function, so that's going to be heating up the element here. We're going to be using about 2 cups or 170 grams of frozen diced peppers and onions. We're going to be using about a tablespoon of no chicken base from Better Than Bouillon. We're going to saute our vegetables in some plant-based butter or anything else, any other kind of oil that you want to use. We're also going to be using some Mrs. Dash salt-free seasoning. There's plenty of sodium already in these items here, so just a little bit of herbs and seasonings can go a long way in this soup. Then for the vegetables, or the main bulk of the meal, it's going to be the few stalks of celery that I have left, and then also some parsnips. This is an entire bag of the Trader Joe's parsnips. They only came with 3. I've already taken off the ends and washed them. The ends are in the compost. And also to bulk it up and make it more substantial, we're going to be using some silken tofu as well. Okay, so we're gonna put in our frozen veg. Ooh, one man down. If you notice, a lot of vegan YouTubers, they have a very artistic way of pouring things in so you can see what's being poured in, but you already know what's in there, so I'm not gonna be fancy with it. I'm really not. Okay, so I'm just taking a little bit of butter here. That's probably a tablespoon or a little bit more than a tablespoon. That should be absolutely fine for us. I'm gonna move that aside. Okay, I'm going to just gonna keep that in there. All right. Okay, so we'll worry about that when it gets a little bit warmer. Okay, for now I'm going to prepare the veggies to be sauteed. So this is going to be a blended soup. So I want the pieces small. Now you can use a mandolin here, or you can chop them up. It doesn't really matter. I'll probably just chop it up just because it might be a little bit quicker actually. Okay, I should use my knife skills properly. I have knife skills. I took a class. I don't know why I just chop things however is the most convenient to do it. But you know what's not convenient? Messing up your fingers. So today we're gonna do it this way. Again, it does not matter the size that you're chopping them. Like I said, this is going to be another blended soup. That being said, if you are doing this in a pot, it'll be quicker to cook when they're smaller pieces. But since it's in an Instant Pot, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna put it for, I'm probably gonna put it on high pressure for like 10 minutes or something. I mean, you know, it doesn't really need a lot of time. I'm gonna let that saute. I'm going to put these in there. Really just want to get all of this in the pot as soon as possible because I'm on my lunch hour. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this on the widest piece. I don't know if you can see how wide that is. I'm gonna put this on the widest piece. And then we're gonna obviously want to be careful. I've said this already, but and for things that don't need to be chopped all fancy and pretty, I love using a mandolin. Ugh, just gets it done so quickly. There are gloves that you can use for this mandolin. I didn't get them when I ordered this. This is an OXO. It did not come with a glove. It did come with a little piercy handle thing, but who knows where that is. I got this years ago. I actually got this in 2020 I've said it before in another video, but when I first got this, I was not being careful, and it was like April 2020 when the whole Pando was released, and I got a cut, and thank goodness it didn't need stitches, but I did need to go to urgent care to be like, hi, I'm still bleeding 2 days later, so sorry about this. And the woman was so rude to me, and rightfully so, because who is getting these stupid Bobo injuries when the world was really going through it? Like, I was such a waste of time for them. So don't do that. Don't be that person. Okay. And because that happened to me, and because I'm paranoid, I'm going to stop here and just chop the rest of this when I have a moment. So I'm aiming for 2 servings here. You know, with blended soups, sometimes you can't quite tell as you're cooking, unless if you've made the same thing before, how many servings you're going to get. So let me put these on the side because I'll need to chop those. So I think I'm aiming for 2 servings. I think those would be 2 hefty portions here. I've done the calculation, so I've put everything into MyFitnessPal. So I will put them somewhere on the screen so you can see what the macros are for 2 servings. It should have, I believe, about 20 grams of protein per soup. So of course you can increase the amount of protein with, you know, if you're using this soup as a side, that would be a good thing to do. And then you maybe have it with, you know, a sandwich with some tofu or seitan or, you know, whatever else you're using. Or if you want to add more calories along with more protein. Oh, there we are there. It's ended. Why did we end? Okay, I just put the saute function on again. Because like, why did we end the saute? So yeah, so if you wanted to, ma'am, really, honestly? So if you wanted to add more calories along with a bit of more protein, any kind of white beans would be really good with this, because once you blend it, it's actually, white beans are very soft already and they have a bit of protein in there. Or if you don't mind the color being changed just a little bit, you can add some red lentils. Red lentils would go perfectly in this. But again, just be aware, those are pretty starchy vegetables as well, so you're going to add a lot more carbohydrates in there as well. Carbohydrates, that's more calories. So just be aware. And you know, it's more I mean, it doesn't really matter for most people, but it's more calories for the tiny amount of protein that you're getting by adding those things. So a lot of people, you know, add beans and they're like, oh, okay, I'm adding beans for protein, and then that's the only protein source that's in there, but it's not a high protein source, right? Like, there is some protein in beans and lentils. They are good sources of nutrients in general. I would highly recommend adding those to your diet if you don't already have them in your diet. But as far as those being high protein sources or good sources of protein as like the one and only protein source you have in your meals, I would not say that that's the case. Okay, I'm just spitting facts here. All right? I'm not saying they're bad items. I'm just saying they're not the protein source you think they are. Okay. I should actually, I don't think I've shown any recipes with beans. I mean, besides tofu, if you're counting that. But yeah, I'm just trying to chop these up a little bit more. Ugh. Why did I take the tiniest? Why did I get the tiniest little chopping board for this? I don't know. In any case, okay. Okay, so we're starting to throw these things in. Ooh, I forgot to boil water. Oh no. I just started boiling some water so we don't have a burn situation going on here. You could put the water in there cold. It really is not that serious, honestly. But I find with pre-boiled water, or yeah, pre-boiled water, it just comes to pressure more quickly, right? So it doesn't have to heat up the water in order to get things going in the first place. So that's something I like to do. I recommend you do that. If you don't have an electric kettle, first of all, get one. What's going on here? What's wrong with you? So if you're going to use just your stove, then maybe it might not be the time saver. You know, and then you also have something else in the stove, something else going on, you know. But if you have an electric kettle, that's definitely the way I would suggest going about this. All right, now I have space for this last guy. I don't know why I come on here acting like I've never used a knife before. I swear to you, I have good knife skills. I promise you. Ooh, see? Okay, well, it wasn't meant to be for that piece. I'm not chasing that. I mean, obviously I will pick it up, but I'm not chasing that. And I'm not sprinkling a little bit here and there on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and now the only thing I don't like about adding seasonings like that to these blended soups is the fact that it's not going to be like all smooth and pretty. You're going to see specks of this seasoning, but you know, it's not that serious. It really is not. Anyway, okay, so I love these shelf-stable ones. These are really good for making any kind of dressing in blended soups, etc. The easiest way to open these is to do exactly what I did, just kind of like squeeze it like that and then cut along the top here instead of doing all these shenanigans here. Okay, see, now we just have to cut along the top here, and when we're ready to put that in, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so for this right here, I'm going to get this small tiny spoon, so I'm not grabbing 10 servings here. Okay, that's enough there. Just gonna get all of that off the spoon. Rinse that off again. That should actually be more than enough, I think. Okay, all right, I'm actually going to drain this. I forgot that there's just a little bit of water in these, so I'll be right back. Okay, I like to crush it on its way out. Alrighty. Just a little bit. Okay. Make sure all of that that's a whole lot for 2 servings. So this might actually end up 3 servings. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're going to pressure cook for 10 minutes on high. Alrighty. Okay, and we're gonna make sure that's there. All right, see you soon. So I just did a quick release with the technique I showed many moons ago. You just throw a towel on top of it and then open up the vent so that water and vapor doesn't fly everywhere. So that's what I've done there. I'm plugging in my blender. Okay, so let's see what we have going on here with our soup. Ooh, okay, let's get some of that liquid in there. Ooh. Okay. Alrighty. Takes a lot to get it going, And of course you want to be really careful because it's still hot, obviously. The best thing to do would actually be to let it cool down. But you know, nobody got time for that, so. Okay, and so you can see the consistency here. It is really thick and hearty. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's gonna be my soup. I was worried that this would be a lot for 2 servings, so I thought maybe I'll do 3, but I think it's good for 2 servings. I think this is really good. It's a good hearty portion, has 20 grams of protein per serving, and I'm forgetting the calorie amount, but it's maybe like 400-ish, somewhere in the 400 range. So this is a good diet-friendly soup, a good macro-friendly soup as well. I believe the carb count is somewhere in the 30s, so yeah, this is a great meal. You're good to go with this. What I would serve this with is maybe some crusty bread. If you are really being calorie conscious or carb conscious, then you can use either some mini tortillas, or you can use like a 647 type of bread, or 467 or 347, whatever you know the bread I'm talking about. If you know, you know. So you can use that as well, or just a smaller portion of your regular, you know, whatever crusty bread that you like to have with soups. Another thing you can do is maybe make some tofu croutons. I've mentioned that twice already, and I haven't shown you what I meant by that, but essentially it's just if you freeze and then thaw your tofu, it gets kind of a more porous texture. That is perfect for air frying, just plain Jane air frying it until it's very, very crispy, and then it becomes a really great crouton substitute, I guess you could call it. I mean, I would still probably have croutons in there, but it's something crispy and protein filled that you can have with your soup. Anyway, you know how you like your soup. Do that. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna just have it with this, and then maybe yeah, I'll probably have a little bit of crusty bread with it and call it a day. And yeah, so there's our soup. Enjoy. Let's see if I can do this without, oh God. Ugh, why I hate this blender. Don't buy this. This is horrible. I can't, ugh. Why is that so, like, literally, why is that so difficult? I'm so sad my old one broke, because this thing is useless. Also blend better too. I mean, damn, you have one job. What the hell?